Welcome to our store. My name is Jerome. I'm the guy who manages sales and logistics. Our workshop has been making specifically these drain cleaning tools for flexible shafts for 2 decades now, so you can imagine the type of quality that you can expect. I'm going to help you to navigate around the store and give you some information so that it'll make it easier for you to choose what it is that you need. In our store, you'll notice that there are 4 main categories. The first category is the drain cleaning chains. Obviously, all the different varieties of drain cleaning chains will be in that. The second category is complete kits. So this is basically where you want a plug-and-play solution. You just want to buy the kit, not know too many details about it, and off you go. The third one is where you have all the accessories and bits and pieces that pertain to the flexible shafts and drain cleaning, except that they're not chains. The fourth is for pipe relining and all the different bits and pieces you would need in the pipe relining CIPP or patch process. Basically only patch lining at this point. So, when choosing the right type of tools for your needs, you need to take 4 questions into account. The first question is whether you're looking to descale a pipe or whether you're looking to do blockage removal. The reason for this is that the chains and the shafts that you use for descaling are not the same as the ones you would use for blockage removal. So that's question number 1. The second question you need to ask yourself is, what size pipe are you working in? The reason this is important is because a 2-inch pipe would require a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter shaft, and if you try to use a 1/2 inch or 12 millimeter shaft in a 2-inch pipe, you're not going to be able to navigate around any bends. The third question you need to be asking yourself is, what kind of material are you working in? Are you working in cast iron or clay or PVC? The reason being is that the chains that you would use in a PVC pipe are different to the chains that you would be using in a cast iron or clay pipe. The last question is obviously the different types of access points that you have available to you, because the access points into the drain determines how long the shaft should be. Now, we always recommend that you try to get the shortest shaft possible. The reason being is that all flex shafts are much more efficient over shorter distances than a longer distance. Whilst most customers want to get themselves 100 feet or 30 meters, we recommend that you rather check which access points are required. Besides that, it's very rare that the blockage is 30 feet away, 100 feet away. Having said that, there's one other thing you need to bear in mind when choosing a shaft. The carrier that we provide for shafts doesn't provide a whole 100 feet inside that tiny little carrier. For a 6 millimeter or 1/4 inch shaft, or the 8 millimeter and 5/16 shaft, yes, it will hold a full 100 feet inside of the carrier. But when it comes to the 10 millimeter, which is a 3/8 shaft, or the 12 millimeter, which is a 1/2 inch shaft, there the carrier is limited to a lesser amount of shaft that it can carry. Having said that, most of our more regular customers are buying shorter shafts and using a shaft-to-shaft connector to connect the two together. So the benefit of doing that is that on average, you would use a shorter shaft on a daily basis. If you happen to kink your shaft or something along those lines, you don't need to stop, get a grinder, slice your shaft and reconnect it. You can just put it one side, go to your van, grab another shaft and continue working and deal with it later. And that's the advantage to having 2 shafts. If of course you want longer lengths, all you do is you take a shaft-to-shaft connector, which is in the accessories, and put it together and off you go. You can get the job done. So now we're talking about the difference in chains. And you have a circular chain and you have a regular chain like this. Now, this regular chain, as you can see, has got hard metal bits on it. This one has also got a drill head. So when asked whether you want a drill head or not, this is what they're referring to. This, as you can see over here, is a chain without a drill head, and this is one with a drill head. So that is to answer that question. The difference between a standard chain, this is a blockage removal chain, and a circular chain is that a circular chain is meant for descaling tasks. That is because the circular chain has more teeth on the outer circumference and a fixed diameter, and so it's meant for descaling quicker. You can descale chains with a regular blockage removal chain, but just not at the same speed as you would do with a circular chain. Now, as you can see, both of these chains that I've presented to you now have got the hard metal bits on the end of the chain like that. That is because these are meant for cast iron and clay pipes, whereas this chain over here does not have the hard metal bits. It's just a standard chain. And the difference is that this chain is meant for PVC pipes. It will do the same thing except for PVC. That's the difference between the cast iron, clay, and PVC pipes. The next thing to ask is the difference between a lightweight and a heavyweight chain. Now, a heavyweight chain is meant more for a 3/8 of an inch or 10 millimeter shaft, or a 1/2 inch 12 millimeter shaft. And that's because the heavy duty chains, those heavy duty shafts, can power a heavy duty chain, whereas a lightweight shaft, which is a 5/16 or 8 millimeter shaft, or a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter shaft, these do not have as much torque to the tool end as the heavy duty shafts have. Now, when choosing a shaft, what you need to ask yourself is, besides obviously the difference between the access points, that's obviously going to give you the length of the shaft that you need. But when choosing a shaft, you need to ask yourself what type of pipe diameter you have. Now you can see over here the bending radius of this shaft is equal to the bending radius of a 90-degree bend on a 2-inch pipe. So this will pass through a 2-inch pipe with no problems on multiple bends. And this is the 6 millimeter or 1/4 inch. Whereas the 8 millimeter or 5/16 shaft has less of a bend. So this would be more suitable to 3 and 4-inch pipes. Having said that, the 10 millimeter or 3/8 shaft has a little bit, it's a little bit, the bending radius is a little bit greater, but a 10 millimeter shaft will be perfect for getting you through a 4-inch pipe on the condition that you don't have many bends in that pipe. That's important. Your 5/16 shaft will be great if you have multiple bends in a 3 and 4-inch pipe. Yet I wouldn't be using a 5/16 shaft or an 8 millimeter shaft inside of a 150 or a 6-inch pipe. There you'd rather go for your 3/8 inch shaft or your 1/2 inch shaft. Your 1/2 inch 12 millimeter and your 3/8 of an inch, which is 10 millimeter, those shafts are more suitable for 4 to 8-inch pipes where you don't have multiple bends. A 4-inch pipe with not multiple bends, or the 6 mil with multiple bends. And so that's how you determine the difference. Remember, the thicker the shaft is, the more torque it can deliver, but the less flexible it is. And so that's how you get to choose which one of these variables you would choose when choosing the right tool for you. I hope that was helpful. And please feel free to get in touch with us anytime. We're always happy to help you choose what you need. Just give us a shout. You can click on the little WhatsApp icon or mail us. Thank you so much for watching and have a super day.